Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For Duggar family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Jill Duggar-Dillard and her husband Derek were overjoyed when they found out they were expecting their fourth child baby girl. Her name would be Esla Marie Dillard, and she was already loved by her parents and her three older brothers. They eagerly waited for her arrival, dreaming of the day she would fill their home with her cries, her coos, but sometimes life doesn't follow the plan. At a routine checkup, they heard the words no parent ever wants to hear: there is no heartbeat. Their beautiful baby girl had died in the womb. She was stillborn just months before her expected birth. The couple shared their heartbreak publicly. It is with heavy hearts that we announce the stillbirth of our beautiful baby girl, Esla Marie Dillard. From the moment we found out we were pregnant, we couldn't wait to meet our baby. They held a memorial service for Isla. There was a tiny white coffin, soft toys, handwritten notes, and pale pink flowers. Her name, Isla, meaning devoted to God, and Marie, meaning wished for child, reflected how deeply wanted and cherished she was. Jill and Derek's three sons had looked forward to meeting their baby sister. They never got the chance. We will love you forever and hold you in our hearts until we hold you in heaven. Jill Duggar is one of the Duggars who has done the most whistleblowing out of the family. Duggar News followers understand it's not easy going after the people who raised her, but they have been appreciative of her for speaking her truth and calling out the problematic elements. Now, most of Jill's posts surround her home life, her loving husband Derek, and her beautiful kids. One of the major sources of Jill's income is her social media presence. Hence, she is constantly posting things and sharing highlights from her life for everyone's entertainment. However, her new post caused a massive uproar on the internet. So, what exactly did Jill do which was so offensive? Duggar News. Jill Duggar details concerns about high-risk pregnancy. Won't have more kids? Jill Duggar had a devastating year. It was during her second trimester of her fourth pregnancy that she ended up having a stillbirth. It was a big deal for her and her husband, Derek Dillard. They had already named their baby girl Esla Marie. They also had a funeral for her in their backyard, and she shared many posts talking about her little one. In an Ask Anything session, a viewer wanted to know if she would have more kids or if she was content with her three boys. Well, Jill happily said that they tried to find a girl and talked about Esla Marie. She also said that her pregnancies are high risk, so she and her husband weren't trying at the moment. They were not sure if it would be worth it to try at that point because of Jill's health concerns. She did say that her deliveries and pregnancies from the past have been very difficult. Duggar News. Jill faces criticism for debuting new Hairdo. Jill Duggar is always sharing wholesome family updates on her Instagram handle. The Duggar News star has made her husband and kids her sole priority. That's precisely why most of her reels and pictures on the platform contain her husband and kids. But this time around, Jill tried to do something different. She shared a post about how she added a little summer happy to her hair. Well, the video had Jill twirling around with light-colored dreads and braids in her hair. While many people appreciated her in the comments section, others felt differently. On Reddit, someone shared the link to Jill's post and kept saying how offensive it was. Many angry viewers began to call it a classic example of cultural appropriation. The post has since then been deleted from Reddit because of the insensitive comments. Jill Duggar brings new baby home to Arkansas to meet the whole Duggar family. Are Jill Duggar and Jeremy Vullo teasing a move back to Arkansas? According to a recent Instagram story, they might be considering it. The couple and their three kids are visiting Michelle and Jim Bob at the big house so their new son, Finn, can meet the rest of the Duggar family. While there, Jill and Jeremy had to fill up their car with gas and were stunned by how inexpensive it was compared to Southern California, where they live now. When Jeremy told Jill to look at the price, she remarked, "What in the world? Should we move back?" Despite her musings, it seems unlikely Duggar and Jeremy will move back to Arkansas anytime soon. In August 2024, they purchased their home in Santa Clarita, California for just under $2 million. If Duggar's Instagram posts are any indication, they've been loving the house in their neighborhood. This is baby Finn's first time meeting most of the Duggars, although he has met a few members of the giant family. Michelle was present at his birth, and Jessa, Jana, and John David recently visited California with their families. Most of the 19 Duggar siblings still live in Arkansas, near the big house in Tontatown. Jill, Duggar, and Jana have ventured further away from home, so it's a big deal when they visit the family. Although Duggar has spoken out about the challenges of growing up as a Duggar primarily through her memoirs, becoming free indeed and people pleaser, she's still close with her mom and many of her siblings. Although Duggar loves her family, it appears she and Jeremy are content living in California. But who knows? Maybe they'll end up back in Arkansas someday. Duggar remembers crying when a close friend started wearing pants. I was brokenhearted. Before Duggar began wearing pants herself, she had a hard time seeing her friends make the switch. The Counting on Alum, 31, and her husband, Jeremy Volo, were joined by her sister Joanna Duggar on the Wednesday, April 16 episode of the Duggar and Jeremy podcast to discuss the Duggar family's headline-making modesty practices. Duggar and her siblings were raised in an ultra-conservative Christian household and followed strict rules, one of which included women and girls wearing skirts and dressing modestly. Volo, 37, pointed out that while the family's beliefs seemed like another world to those on the outside, many people in the Duggars community followed similar guidelines. For you to do anything other than that was like a bombshell, he said. Duggar agreed that it was so normal for her and her sisters and even their mom, Michelle Duggar, to dress modestly. You kind of start to not think twice about it until you are surrounded with other people who are conducting their lives differently. And then that's something where you start to think more about why do I do what I do? She added. Every time a Duggar child broke their family rules. Duggar wearing pants and beyond. Joanna, 27, noted that there were also people in their lives that branched out from the modest uniform earlier on. To me, it was a big deal Weedy that always wore skirts started wearing pants, she said. Then I was like, oh well, they know better. That was my attitude behind it at the time. Her sister felt similarly. I remember when a couple close friends started wearing pants and I was like, so brokenhearted over it, Duggar recalled. I remember crying over one friend just thinking, why are they doing that? Without even asking or hearing them out as to why. While Duggar has been wearing pants for some time, Joanna revealed that she only took the leap 2 years ago. Her husband, Austin Forsyth, and their children played a role in the decision. We wanted to know 100%, is this something we're OK with for our family, she explained. Joanna went on to assure fans that she has no problem with the way she and her siblings were raised. Nothing held me back, she said. If I wanted to ride a bike, if I wanted to do anything, I could. I don't have any regrets, like, oh man, that was horrible. I know everybody's different, but for me, wearing pants wasn't that big of a pressure, I guess. She added that Forsyth, whom she wed in 2017, wants her to wear whatever she's comfortable with. 19 kids and counting. Alum Duggar Duggar recalls first time she told her parents she wears pants. Duggar, meanwhile, has been outspoken about her own fashion choices since releasing her 2021 memoir, The Hope We Hold. Modesty was a huge topic in our house, and we believed that wearing skirts instead of pants was a central part of being modest. But I wanted to discover for myself what the Bible had to say, she wrote at the time, revealing that she came to believe modesty wasn't only about what you wear, but was also about the position of your heart. Joanna Duggar and Austin Forsyth admit they broke Jim Bob's courtship rules. When it comes to dating one of Jim Bob Duggar's daughters, we've heard plenty about just how strict his courtship rules can be. because the children of the family date with the intent to marry the person they're courting. Jim Bob thoroughly vets any man who has been interested in one of his girls, and even once they get his seal of approval, they have to follow his guidelines. But now, Austin Forsyth is coming clean. He and Joy didn't follow those rules quite as closely as her dad would have liked. Austin appeared on Jinger and Jeremy's podcast this week. While talking with his sister and brother-in-law, Austin opened up about courting Joy Anna in the early days of their relationship, something he wasn't too familiar with because it wasn't the way his family did things, despite the fact that they were also pretty conservative. But because his family had been close with the Duggars for years, he did know that this was the way they did things, and he was willing to give it a shot. That meant that all of his dates with Joy were chaperoned, though, and that's when they ended up bending the rules. Justin chaperoned most of Joy and Austin's dates. They still found a way to get one-on-one time together if they wanted to have a private conversation. However, even though that was technically against the rules, "We tell Justin to go sit in the truck," he said, later adding, "I'd be like, hey, we're going to talk. You go over there, Justin. You go in the next room or whatever." Fortunately, because Justin already knew Austin from their families interacting and had a level of trust and respect, he'd go along with it. Fans have a lot of thoughts about Austin's confession. Fans on a popular Duggar-related subreddit have been discussing this part of the podcast, and they seem to appreciate the confirmation about the broken rules. "I am not saying they broke all the rules, but this seems to confirm what some of us believe, that they did more than hold hands prior to marriage," the OP wrote. One commenter wrote, "Glad Austin didn't mention this until after Justin got out of the house. Justin's probably getting an angry phone call from JB right about now." This isn't the first time Joy and Austin have admitted to breaking a courtship rule. When Joy appeared on the Unplanned podcast in October 2024, she admitted that she broke the rule about no hand-holding and no full hugs before engagement after Austin totaled his truck in an accident that was so bad he could have died. "Well, my brother that comes with my dad is like Pop's Joy has been holding onto Austin's arm this whole time. And they're courting. They're not even supposed to be holding hands," Joy said. And Pops looks back kind of like annoyed. He's like, "You should probably let go of his arm." And I'm like looking at my brother like so annoyed. But I was like, whatever, it's fine. Joy Anna Duggar's dance video showing the different outfits of motherhood has people giggling. Anyone who's caught a few episodes of 19 Kids and Counting already knows that the Duggar kids have had very different childhoods from what many of us experienced growing up. Being under the umbrella of Bill Gothard and the Institute in Basic Life Principles meant that they weren't able to enjoy mainstream movies or music and had to follow a restrictive dress code. Of course, dancing was totally off the table because it is considered too sinful. And now that Joy Anna Duggar is making the choice to break another one of the rules she used to live by, fans are cheering. Joy Anna Duggar showed off her moves in a new video. In the video, Joy is dancing to Justin Timberlake's "Can't Stop the Feeling" as she changes into different outfits to show what a wide variety of clothing she has in her closet. "One day I'm Pinterest mom, next day I'm just happy I'm dressed," she wrote in her caption, adding, "Can you tell I didn't dance as a kid?" Fans are cheering her on in the comments. In the comments, so many of Joy's followers applauded her dancing. She might not have the same moves as a professional would, but plenty of people were proud of her for doing something that was forbidden while she was growing up. "I've been following your family since before some of your siblings were even born, and I gotta say I love this content," one comment said. "You harmlessly dancing around, full of literal joy singing and rocking these outfits. You seem so happy, and watching this made me happy." Another person added, "Oh my gosh, I could cry watching how happy you are dancing, not to mention to a great song. I'm so happy for you." Her critics have a lot of thoughts. On a popular Duggar-related subreddit, Joy's critics aren't all that happy for her for breaking the rules and dancing instead. Some took this opportunity to point out that this is just one of the ways the Duggars are making their religious beliefs more relatable.